Hello everybody, welcome to our channel We Educate. We are going to launch an entire series on budget, and this video is introduction part in which we are going to study static portion, which is important from the point of view of mains examination, and also factual questions would be helpful for prelims. This is an initiative led by Earthrun, and I suggest you all to please go through our website for similar kind of informative content. And I would also like you to please subscribe and like our video. So let's get started. Budget. The term is very similar to all of us, and the in the month of February especially, the newspaper articles get flooded with the term. But it is very surprising to know that the term is nowhere mentioned in our Indian Constitution. Instead, the term annual financial statement under Article 112 of the Indian Constitution is there. The literal meaning of budget is the estimation of revenue and expenses over the specified future period of time. And union budget is the statement of government's finances for the financial year. Then, talking about the presentation of the budget, the first budget was presented by R.K. Shanmukham Chetty on 26 November 1947. And you must be aware that after 2017, the two major changes have been brought in relation to the budget. The first one being the change of date. That is, first, earlier the budget was being passed on last day of February, but after 2017 it was passed on first day of February. And the second change was that earlier the budget was released in two segments, that is the railway budget and general budget. But after 2017, it is combined as one single budget known as union budget, and it takes effect from April 1 to March 31st of the next year. And it is presented by Union Finance Minister in Lok Sabha first. Then there are six stages to present, consider and pass the budget. The first is the presentation of budget. As we all know, the budget is first presented in the Lok Sabha through an introductory budget speech, and no discussion takes place in Lok Sabha in that day. Then on next 2 to 3 days, the general election takes place in both the houses of the parliament, and then for next 3 to 4 weeks the parliament is adjourned, and during this period the 24 departmental committees of the parliament, they examine the demand for grants of each of the concerned ministries and prepare report on them. Now here the demand for grants means that the concerned ministries or different ministries will made the grant for some amount of money by introducing a bill to provide appropriation of some money from the consolidated fund of India. For example, if a railway minister wants rupees 100 crores for the development and expansion of railways, then he has to present a bill in front of the parliament and take appropriation from the entire parliament. Then only he can take money out of the consolidated reserve or consolidated funds of the government. And what these departmental committees does is the proper allocation of resources. Say for example, government reserves are having just 500 crore rupees, and say there are six ministries who are demanding 100 crore rupees from the consolidated fund of India. But the demand is 600 crore rupees, and the reserves are just having 500 crore rupees. Then how they might deduct rupees 20 crores from each of the ministries so that the proper allocation is being done. Then this report, which is being drafted or made by departmental committees, they are submitted to the parliament for the consideration. and then voting on each of the demand of grants is being done. The demands are being voted separately in Lok Sabha, and cut motion can be moved to reduce any demand for grant. Uh, these cut motions are basically moved by the opposition members to oppose the policies of the ruling parties. And there are three types of cut motion: the policy cut motion, the economy cut motion, and the token cut motion. In policy cut motion, the amount of resource being allocated to any particular ministry is being reduced to rupees 1. It is just to show that the opposition members are not satisfied with the policies of the government. Then next is economy cut motion. The economy cut motion is passed by an opposition to propose a lump sum reduction in the amount of money which is being allocated to the concerned ministry, so that the amount of money is to be utilized in some other sectors such as defense and education. Then next is token cut motion. Token cut motion aims at the reduction of money by rupees 100 only. This again shows an attempt to oppose the ruling party by the opposition. Then next is passing of appropriation bill. The money which is to be withdrawn from the consolidated fund of India can only be done by passing of appropriation bill in the parliament. Then last is the passing of finance bill. It is the income side of the budget, and it is subjected to all the conditions applicable to money bill. Means it will be first passed in the Lok Sabha only and not the Rajya Sabha, and all other conditions. And finance bill must be passed within 75 days from the proposal of this bill. Next is classification of budget. There are two types of budget. First is economic classification, and next is functional classification. Under economic classification, it identifies the type of expenditure incurred, for example, salaries, goods, services, etc. And under functional classification, it categorizes the expenditure according to the purpose and the objective for which they are intended. Then next is budgeting method, under which first is incremental budgeting. Let's understand it through an example. Suppose a sales department allocated a budget of $1 lakh, and at the end of the financial year they found out that they have spent $1,10,000. Means they are over budget by $10,000. This exceeding budget will tell the upper management that for the next time they need to allocate the higher amount of money than the original. This is incremental budgeting, means adjust the existing or last fiscal period budget by an increment or percentage to obtain a new and current year's budget. Then next is activity based budgeting. It is a top down approach that thoroughly analyzes activities to predict operating budgets and future costs. Say a company wants to purchase 80,000 sale orders, then and the cost of each unit is $3. Then if we multiply both these terms, we will get the required output. Means how much amount of money we require to put in for the particular activity to be performed. Third is zero based budgeting. It begins with assuming that all the department budgets are zero and must be rebuilt from scratch starting for each fiscal period. Although it requires line by line justification of what is being spent, it is still flexible and and can be changed if needed. Then fourth is value position budgeting. It aims to eliminate unnecessary expenses, mark my words, unnecessary expenses, by addressing expenditures and deciding whether their value justifies the cost or not. Then fifth is flexible budgeting. Unlike static budgets, all the static budgets which remain same no matter what, a flexible budget goes with the ebbs and flow of the business. Means suppose in a winter season, people like to wear more clothes I mean, it's necessary for the people to wear more clothes and participate in more sporting activities. So the requirement of winter clothes and sporting equipments uh, rises up. And with the flexible budget, company leaders can adjust spending for larger purchases that may only occur during this period of time. Then last is types of budget followed in India. The first is balanced budget. For a balanced budget, the estimated expenditure must be equal to the expected income in a particular financial year. And it is based on the idea that government's expenditure should not exceed its revenue. Next is surplus budget. A surplus budget is basically where the expected income is more than the estimated expenditure in a financial year, and this type of budget signifies that government's earning from taxes are more than the money government spent on public welfare. And during inflation, the surplus budget is implemented in order to cut down aggregate demand. Then last is deficit budgeting. A deficit budget comes at a time when the estimated expenditure is higher compared to the expected revenue. In this kind of budget, the government's revenue is less than its expenditure, and this budget is particularly for developing economies and during the recession. This type of budget helps generate extra demand and spur the rate of economic growth. Thank you all. I hope that you found this video very informative. Please like and share this video and subscribe to our channel. The other parts of the budget series will be uploaded soon.